Right, we've just touched down in sunny, warm Newcastle. We're here to interview the manager, Eddie Howe, and one of his most informed players, Anthony Gordon, here for Between the Lines. So follow me, let's see what we can get out of them today.
It's going to be quite a ride under Eddie Howe. Lift off in the Champions League for Newcastle.
Morning.
Good to see you.
Bit colder, but it's all right. You're used to this, not me.
Well, he means business now. He's got his coat off.
Right, Eddie, thank you very much for coming along to come on Between the Lines. We met years ago when I was at Bournemouth on loan, and you was a young player there as well. And obviously at that point I didn't look at you and think, oh, this is the next big coach. But obviously your career finished slightly early. Was it always in your mind to be a coach, or was it the injury that was the catalyst for that?
Yeah, I think it was the injury that was the catalyst. I think, as you say, I didn't see that in myself really. At any stage of my football career did I think I was going into management. Probably until a year after retiring. Suddenly I got the coaching bug once I started. Realised I absolutely loved it. Still wasn't sure on management, to be honest, but the coaching led me that way really.
How does this compare to somewhere like a Bournemouth and coming into this kind of hotbed of football?
Yeah, they're different football clubs, but both, in my opinion, hugely special football clubs. So this is, as you say, so intense. You can't escape the football club, the results, everything about it. You're living it every second because everyone you meet is a Newcastle fan and they're fully ingrained in the football club and want it to do well. Bournemouth's slightly different, but an unbelievable club for me to have worked the majority of my life and progressed through various stages of my life with that club. So amazing clubs, but very different.
You're talking about a style maybe of play. When I think of Eddie Howe's Bournemouth team, I don't really see what I see here at Newcastle. There's an aggressiveness, there's a real front foot, the high intensity to which you play with. I think Bournemouth was a little bit different to that. So how did you bring that into your coaching and the methods that you've used to really create a team like this, what we're seeing now?
Yeah, I'd say, for me, going back to the Bournemouth team, there were a lot of similarities to this team. Just probably the big difference is the system that I've decided to play here is different, and I think that's maybe led people to believe it's a change of style, but the style was always there. We're very aggressive at Bournemouth. We tried to high press, even against all types of opposition.
Last season, you guys overachieved, it seemed, from the outside. You get Champions League football. I'm sure that wasn't the remit going into the season. What are the goals now for you guys? Have you had to reshape the goals because of the success you've had?
Yeah, I think you're always having to reshape depending whether you're in good moment, difficult moment. But of course, when you go back a few months, we had the Champions League, we had the Carabao Cup, and picking people up from those disappointments has been a big part of our work for the last few weeks.
Just looking at the way that the club's changed, the dynamic of the club's changed with the investment that's come in, and I think a lot of fans, Newcastle fans and people outside would have gone, you know what, wow, superstars incoming. Your approach has been a bit more reserved and a bit more concise with the way you've approached it. Has that been because of you, or is that the club's approach, or a bit of both?
I'd probably say...
And are there any superstars coming at some point?
I think I would hope so. I'm not adverse to managing and coaching the elite players and the so-called superstars, but I don't think we were ready for that. So when you're in a relegation battle, as much as...
You don't want luxury players then,
well, no, but they won't come. So you can have this delusional decision-making where you think, well, I'm going to bring this player in and that player, and they won't come, because they're fearful of relegation. And then when you stabilise yourself, you've got to realise every other club is after the best players. So are they going to choose Newcastle ahead of someone else? And we're still not in that position where we're winning those battles. So then your recruitment has to mirror where you are, in my opinion. And it's about being really clever with your purchases. And I think we had to have a shift from quite an ageing squad when we arrived to then bringing more youthful players in. That has to happen, or you're going to become top heavy. So it's quite a lot of thought has gone into recruiting the players we have.
Well, listen, we talked about recruitment. I want to touch on a bit of what you've done when you came here. This jumps out immediately. Mid-table in terms of goals conceded, just above mid-table on shots faced. Look at that spike, first and second in those areas. So when you came in, was there a big kind of push in terms of making us harder to beat?
We did a lot of work on the back end of that season when we stayed up, and then we continued that into the new season, really. We didn't dramatically change our style straight away. There wasn't a line in the sand where we went, right, now we're playing a different way. It's been a gradual, step-by-step approach to go, right, now we're going to introduce this, now we're going to do this. But we didn't want to lose sort of our defensive solidity, and last season we defended magnificently. Yeah, I think the players could feel that, and that, you know what it's like, Rio, that gives you confidence.
Yeah, it does. Clean sheets do as well, don't they?
Yeah, when you're defending strongly, you believe you can win any game, you're in any game. So yeah, it was great to see last year.
And I want to just take you to this. I think it's nice to get a few visuals. I think this is your Newcastle team at Anfield in your first season. And just, you talk me through the difference, and I'll mention even this clip here, just in the difference in the depth of the team and how the block's probably a bit lower than you probably played this season, but also when the player jumps out like this, you wouldn't see this happen now where he goes and no one follows.
Yeah, I think in that moment we were going to Anfield to be really tight, restrict space, try and nullify their attacking players, make it very difficult for them to play through us, and hoping we could maybe nick a goal on a set play, on a counter-attack. We did have dangerous players, you know, with Maxi, but I think we saw there was no longevity to that. We couldn't stay that team for any length of time. We needed to progress it quite quickly. So once we stayed up, it was then, as I said, can we then build bit by bit to be the team that we want to be, or closer to the team.
And this next clip is that team. This is at Anfield again, but this is an Eddie Howe team. You can see, first and foremost, just even that line there, you can see edging up straight away, condensing the pitch, it seems, and players locking onto players in high areas. Yeah,
so yeah, you can see it. It's interesting actually watching it for myself. You can see a difference, just in terms of attitude, really. I think from here now through that season, we've gained confidence, we've gained belief. We can come up the pitch, we can go more man for man rather than protecting space and defending in groups of twos and threes. Here, I think you can see that release of confidence. That comes from training, that comes from the belief that the group has good players in it, because it doesn't just happen.
Speaking of that, I'm speaking to Anthony Gordon, and he's probably someone who maybe took a little bit of time to... Is it because of the amount of detail that you're pushing into these players, it takes time?
Yeah, I don't think you can just rock up and play for Newcastle without fully understanding what's needed. Now, some players pick it up within days, some players it takes weeks, some players it takes months, because we're quite a unique team, I think, and we work a particular way. So just getting that understanding of what's expected of you. Different players, as I say, pick it up at different rates, but I think you do need a slight bedding in period.
The next clip I'll show you, this was possibly for me one of the best pressing performances I've been live at a game to witness, especially a team newly in the competition against a team that are some people's favourites but are well accustomed to this level of football. But the way I like this one here was where it's almost like you're playing 3 against 3, but you're including your opponent's goalkeeper. That's something it's quite new to seeing that press high like that, and the bravery on this show was a joke.
Yeah, well, bravery is something we talk about a lot with the players, and it's, as I say, you don't just get it. You get it. It's not given to you. You get it from continued work, and then once the players see the benefits of it, they then buy into it and give it more. So this night we were excellent. We got everything right, really, in terms of our physical delivery was brilliant. I think our detail was brilliant of when we pressed, how we pressed.
That's your centre half in the 90th minute.
Yeah, and I just think that summed up our attitude really on the night. That I think that's Fabi, and that's where he gets his goal from.
Shea was in there sharply as he has been all night. Here's Murphy. Shea's going to shoot. Oh my word!
I couldn't come here and not talk about one of your newest, youngest players that you've got, Lewis Miley. If we can get him up here. What is so good about this young player? I know I don't want to heap too much pressure by having his manager speak glowingly about him, but 17-year-old doing what he's doing at the moment has to be talked about.
Yeah, it does. I mean, this was his debut, Rio, and you know what this moment's like. If you pause it now, you're going to shoot.
Yeah. You're going to shoot, or you're going to play the easy pass. Yeah. Most players play there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would have probably shot. But this sums him up, I think, perfectly. In that emotion, he's had the coolness of mind to find Alex here with an unbelievable pass.
Do you think, what I like about this here is I I don't know if he's either seen this play set up before and noticed the habits of the fullback, itching to get out there to go and defend the wide man, and he's seen that Alex is in there. But that's just game understanding, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, that's an example of the game intelligence. I have to say I take zero credit, and our coaches will take zero credit for this. This is Louis all himself, having the coolness of mind to find that pass.
You said it was a standout moment of his career so far, that pass.
Yeah, because of the game, really. Because you're just going to see the goal and you think, oh, can I score on my debut? But he's made the right pass for the team, and Alex has put it away brilliantly. If it was an isolated moment, you'd go, maybe lucky. But you've seen him do it again and again and again. So that's what makes him a very special player.
Well, good. It's a great note to finish on. Good luck. And I love what you're doing. I love watching your team play, I've got to say.
Thank you, Rio.
Lovely to see you.
Good man, you too.
Thank you, top man.
Yeah, great.
Anthony Gordon is in for Newcastle United!
Hi Anthony, welcome. I've just been with your manager before who spoke really well of you. And obviously you're in really, really good form, strong form. What off the field has really impressed you about coming to this big club, Newcastle?
Well, coming here first and foremost was a massive culture shock for me. The standards here from day one from the manager were really surprised me, and from there, from when I first joined, it took me a while to adapt to them standards, but through being around the players and everything that was going on, I've got better and better through following the manager's standards.
I looked at a few of your stats as well. One that jumps off the page immediately is your goal contributions. That's jumped dramatically. What is that? Is that you maturing? Is it maybe getting taught a little bit different at a club, or is it the way the club's playing, etc.? What would be the difference there for you?
I think you could probably say it's a mix, because it definitely is the way the club play. They put me in positions I need to be in to score goals, but I think you know, playing a game as you get older, every year it feels like you're maturing, and for me I'm getting a bit more composure in front of goal in certain areas, and I think I've made enough mistakes around the final third to learn what not to do now. So yeah, but it's something that I'm working on day to day. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, so I've still got a lot to do regarding that.
We spoke before you come on, we were having a good chat about you and your development and stuff, and one of the things that I saw about you before, saying you're one of the quickest in the league across the grass, and I was like, this is at Everton. I've not seen it. I've not seen that pace. Why is that? And I've heard a lot of people say that, but obviously you are. The stats don't lie.
I think I've had that reaction from a lot of people. They don't think I'm quick as I am. I'm really quick.
I've seen it now. Don't worry.
I think, like I said before, styles make fights, and the manager's style of play puts me in positions where I can really showcase what I'm capable of. When I played for Everton, it was a little bit different because I was deeper. A lot of times I'd be, out of possession, so I'd do a lot of running. I'd be tired, and I couldn't really maximise what I felt I could do. So yeah, I put that down to the style of play, put me in a good position. Yeah,
let's have a look at your clips anyway. We've got a couple here that I've picked out. I want to look at you here because it's. I watched you at St James's against Paris Saint-Germain, one of the best nights this club's had for years, and you was one of the big reasons in terms of the press starting the game. One of the first presses was you. This is it here, and I was thinking, wow, just someone who knows the nature of the football club and the fan base. You've really, really kind of bought into that.
Yeah. So this has to be, for me, this is knowing what you're good at. I think everyone wants to be like a good player with the ball, but this for me has to be my sort of foundation, because that's what I'm good at. I'm athletically, gifted in certain areas, so if I didn't use that, it'd be a waste. And I love the challenge of meeting a fullback or a defender head on, and before the game, that's in my mind. I want to go 1v1 as much as I can. When they've got the ball, I think they're not beating me that way, and I'm going to beat them that way.
That's interesting, because you think attacking players, I've always thought attacking players, all they think about is when I've got the ball, what I'm going to do to the fullback. But you are conscious of like in and out of possession, and your responsibilities. Yeah,
because I want that challenge. I want that mental battle with the fullback to think, when he comes off the pitch, I want him to think, how hard is he to play today? So he's not looking forward to playing me again, and I genuinely want that challenge, no matter how good the fullback is. So, and it plays into my hands really that we've got such an unbelievable fan base, because they love that stuff. They love tackles. They love us running as hard as we can.
That competitiveness, isn't it?
They like that want to win, and that's what I'm about. That's what I really like to do. So.
Well, this clip encapsulates that perfectly, because this is in and out of possession. You're your strengths. Here you see Isak gets the ball here, and there's no one else in here. But look at you. There's your fullback you mentioned that you're playing against. There's you, and there's your fullback. Are you conscious of him there and saying, I'm going to beat you to get up and affect the play here, and you ain't going to stay with me?
Honestly, that's my ideal situation. If we get a counter attack, and that's when I can really set off, open my legs, and like you said, I'm sort of mentally defeating him because he's thinking I can't catch him. And then if you look here now, the next bit is just as important to me because I'm going back the other way, and I'm letting him know you're not going to beat me that way as well.
Mentally, that's hard for an opposing player to think that you've got that relentless drive throughout the game, both sides of the game. Because normally, wingers, as a defender, I look at wingers and think they love a breather. Yeah, they love to just chill out of possession a little bit. But is that something that the manager demands from you?
Yeah, so I've come to a club where obviously that is the demand anyway, so I have no choice. But it plays into my hands because, as I said, that's what I'm good at. So he wouldn't have signed me if he didn't think I could do that.
No, good. I want to show you these as well. This is where I think there's been a huge improvement in your game. This is when you were at Everton, you talked about your position maybe affecting your input in terms of goals and affecting the game. But here, I look at this and think to myself, this is a wide man who's just kind of, when the ball goes up there, maybe just ambling, not thinking about those areas there, the next phase of play, and just kind of waiting for the game to situations to happen. And then you look at the distance between yourself and your fullback, who you say, that's your challenge there every game. You can't really affect him being that far away. And that's the area really where you want to get into, where you get your goals. And it's such a big distance to cover, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what has changed? I'll show you a clip in a minute, but what's changed in your mind then?
That's actually annoying to watch now. That's something that managers were going on to me for years. Obviously, this case, I was at Everton, and I had Frank Lampard, who was an unbelievable goal scorer. He gave me all the right information to get in them positions, and this is where your goal is going to come from. Probably just weren't mature enough at that time to take on the advice and go and do it. So
what is it? Are you not seeing the pictures, or it's not going in? And you're not going, oh, I see exactly what you're saying there, and in the game it's too late once you see it, or what?
The biggest thing, like you said, is stopping the ambling, the walking. If it's on the other side of the pitch, I need to be in early and I need to be on the jog. My body language needs to be correct, and all of that just plays into, like you said, there's less distance to run in, and I'm already in them goal scoring areas.
Well, this next clip perfectly plays into that, which you'll see here against my old team, unfortunately. What I love about it is actually, like you say, the team you're at now are putting you in positions higher up, closer to goal, first and foremost. But what I love about this, and I want you to talk to me after, is when the ball goes here, the ball's at Bruno there. You're already, when I play it on, you're already thinking about going here, right? But most players would wait probably until the ball gets to this man and then run. But you're running before that, because we can see here straight away your body language. Like you mentioned there, it's a great point you make. Look at your body language now. That body language is telling me one thing. I want to get there because the goals are here and I need to get there quicker than anybody else. And look at the body position of the defender. Are you looking at that as well? His body position?
Definitely. Obviously, he's closed off to me, so I know I can get around the back of him. But for me, the biggest thing about this goal and the biggest change from me in the past year is I would want the ball from Bruno, do a little bit and try and look good, and ultimately wouldn't result in a goal or assist. Whereas now, I'm not even thinking about him passing me the ball. I'm thinking, get it to trips, let me get back post and score. So it's a mindset shift from me in the past year.
A bit like a snooker player, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shots ahead.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I actually don't want it now. Get it to trips. I want to score. I don't want to be the one to, look good on the ball. I want numbers.
Are you looking also at defenders? Because I used to always watch forwards before games. Obviously, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is probably one of the best 1v1 defenders when you face him up. But most defenders, when the ball goes wide, is when they kind of relax. And I want to show you something here with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I always say, when the ball's wide, if a defender relaxes, that's your quickest way to death in those situations, and you get beat. And watch his body language here. You mentioned body language. Watch his body language here. His arms go down by his side, and then you're off. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable though when I see that. And I just wanted to show you that, because you see fullbacks. Is that something you look for? Because watch his arms go down by his side. His body language is one of someone relaxed, and then you just burst past him in that little screen there. Bang, see you later.
It's like I said to you before, honestly, you might believe it, but I notice everything because I'm so focused on the psychology of that battle of the 1v1. So I'm focused on everything he does. So his body language in every instance, it matters to me. And in that instance, he shuts himself off. And then for me, it's just about timing. I mean, my timing is actually really good in the box. So it's always been just about getting into the mindset of this is where I want to get to. I think, you know, being a defender, if you switch off for 1 second, it's done.
Game over.
So that's my dream. My eyes lit up there.
And this is a perfect example. You get your goal out of it as well. Another one, closing off the back post, and I think that's where you're going to get your goals. That's where you're going to get. I think, have you looked at any players in those situations and thought that's a good example to follow as well?
To be honest, I watch Salah a lot because numbers-wise, like in the positions he takes up, the runs in behind, he's unbelievable. He's probably the best player in the world for me because he has so much impact on the game. But even in that clip there, it's more about work rate. It's getting yourself into the position before the ball comes, if that makes sense. And a lot of defenders, they won't match you if they know you're willing, like I said, to run both ways. If I'm running that way and I'm quicker than them and I get that split second where they switch off, it's a goal.
So just finally, before we go, who has been your hardest right-back opponent so far in your career?
I'd probably say Hakimi.
Hakimi.
For PSG.
Yeah,
he was, because I remember thinking before the game, like, might be a little bit soft, like he's top player on the ball, usually you don't get both, but he's actually a really good defender because he's quick, so even if he makes a mistake, he can get back. Same with Kyle Walker, unbelievable defender, really athletic, but Hakimi on the ball as well. Just so mentally draining for me to go all the way back, and then I had Dembele and
especially away from
away. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Home is different because we have the crowd and it can change a little bit, but PSG away, he was really good.
Good. I can't let you go before I speak about England. Man in form.
Yeah. You
must have aspirations for England. You've won a tournament with England in growing up in younger teams. How close do you think you are, and what's your aspirations with England?
A short-term goal is just to play for England, and then I have some longer-term goals that, you know, I want to be really impactful in the team and help the team win tournaments. I'm not sure how close I am. I think I'm the wrong person to ask, but all I can do is focus on what I'm doing and keep continuing to improve and get better. And the main thing is be consistent. If I'm scoring or assisting, that's all I can do. The rest is not up to me. So hopefully I'm close. Hopefully it comes. But it's definitely it's my biggest aim in football. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very patriotic. I love playing for England, and I always have through the age group. So hopefully that's the next step for me.
Love it. Well, good luck, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time, man. You know what? I love the hunger, man. I love that. It's nice to see. All right. Take care.